Report, where I share my 44 years of experience to help you manage your portfolios and protect your wealth. Remember to subscribe, like, and share these videos. Before we get into tonight's video, I want to thank over 5,000 people that have subscribed to this channel in the last week. I was off for 3 months. What a great welcome. I'm really looking forward to serving this new community as it grows. So let's get into tonight's video. Well, folks, this is kind of a surprise live. I had announced that I was going to do a premiere tonight. Had a lot of issues with some equipment, so let's talk about a couple things. The message that is coming in here is actually, what did the market tell us last Friday? Everybody was pretty excited. I did a special video, a live video showing the turnaround and how our indicators actually predicted almost the perfect turnaround point that we came into on Friday. But what was the message that came out of last week? Folks are screaming we're going to go down just because of Friday's mini reversal. It really wasn't mini reversal. We were down 0.65 on the index, and we're week over week down 0.26, so 1/4% week over week. So there's not really a lot there to really key off on, but I've been telling you that I thought the first week of March would actually end up being a bit of a topping period, or at least a consolidation, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So here's what we're doing tonight. This is going to be a very quick video. This was supposed to be produced. I had some new equipment that I installed that, you know how it goes, nothing ever goes like it's supposed to. So I had lots of delays this afternoon, but I'll go through basically set up. We'll talk about some of the economic reports and things that are coming out, and then I'll go in and look at a couple of charts. We're just going to look at weekly levels. It's going to be pretty brief. I expect to be out of here within 15 minutes. The other thing is, real quick, is if you're not subscribed to the Substack letter, you can go to kendallreport.com/newsletter, sign up there, or you can go to kendallreport.substack.com. There's a 7-day free trial. There is some premium content. It's $8 a month, and there's some free information that comes out every night. So I'll go through more details later tonight when I write that newsletter. So let's get into what happened last week. You know, last week was really a very choppy week. We had a point where Powell was jawboning the markets, and nothing really much came out of what he had to say. We had employment numbers, we had a lot of metrics come out, but in the end it was just basically this volatile week, and we did actually print an all-time new high again across the board before the reversal. And you'll see here in a few minutes, I want to talk about I'm going to go through the WaveTech database really quick just to get you set up there. And then as far as the other parts of the normal presentation I make, I won't be going through that tomorrow. So let's do one more announcement before we get totally into this. Okay, I'm sorry I was really disappointed about what happened, but there's a new schedule coming out. So Sunday's plan going forward is going to be a produced video, should be in the realm of 15 minutes, pretty concise. Mondays are going to be Macro Monday. I'll cover that. We're going to come on at 7 p.m. Eastern time instead of the normal 6 p.m. because of the time change that we had. We don't change our clocks here in Arizona, so I need more of a gap between the close of the market and before I have to come in and start and prepare for the daily video. So it just needs that time. I hate this time of the year more than maybe everyone else does because we don't change our clocks, so it literally disrupts the schedule at what time of the day things happen. So the other thing is, on Tuesday I'm going to start covering individual stocks, and I'm also going to be digging into portfolio management, some ETF hacking. Wednesday, we're going back to macro update and review and whatever's going on in the market. That day will probably be more like a typical Kendall Report daily stream on Wednesday. Just depends on what's going on. Thursday's an off day, so there will be no video on Thursday, and then on Friday I'm going to do a live stream during market hours, probably starting at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and go the last 2 hours of the day. So give us hopefully enough time to set up some trades and just do some basic education on the indicators. So last mention here from that standpoint, if you don't have the indicators, you need to get them. There's going to be really important it's going to be really important, sorry, a noisy motorcycle going by. It's going to be really important to be able to follow this channel and get involved and get into the community. A lot of folks already have these things, so kendallreport.com/indicators. You can find out more about them. We've got a deep discount. All right, let's get into talking about the database here. So let's go off screen here and check out the database. Okay, I had a problem with the sound, so I came back up. This has been a real cluster today, so let's try it again. All right, you should be hearing me now. So let's take a look at exactly what's going on here. This is pretty phenomenal, what's happening with the database. We found more things to buy in the database. We're now 86.95% long. If I come over here to our all stats page, I'm going to take a look here. You're going to see that we got quite a few new buy signals, and it's fascinating. We actually got 413 new buys, only got about 211 or something like that sell signals. So we're still seeing traction come into the database, which is pretty phenomenal, I think. You know, I saw some interesting things here on the YouTube channel, because folks are, all the new folks around, everybody wants to prove they're the great technician, but I love this stuff, so keep commenting. It's so insightful for me to see what the I guess maybe what is being talked about out on the streets. So I'm not locked in a bubble, but there are people talking about just because of a Friday reversal, now we're going to go down for 3 months. And I do believe, as you'll see here in a minute when we get into the technicals, like I said, I'm going to go super fast. We're going to do S&P and probably NASDAQ. I'll check the time. We might bring up the treasuries, but everything's going to be in the Substack tonight, so I will cover everything in great detail as we set up this week. And so, but what's happening out there is folks are pretty much telling me the opposite of what I've been telling you, which I love that stuff. What I'm seeing right now, and in the database here, we're still getting traction. We're not selling off. We're not seeing liquidations. We're seeing more stocks rotate in. Now, there's some things that are starting to get a little bit mature. I will talk about that on the Substack tonight, but we're really just seeing a continuation of this pattern here. So let's take in and take a look at the daily, which is still getting more traction. It's buying. And I mean, like I said, we were down 0.65 on Friday, but overall, the week was down 0.26. We're seeing a lot of stability here from the standpoint of what's going on in the database. So we're looking at now 62.14% bullish. I'm going to go over to the all stats page again, and you're going to see that all of the metrics here in this middle section is where all the numbers come out, and they are showing that the sentiment or the ratios are biased to the upside. So this is amazing. Okay, we were down to about 54%. I'm going off memory here. Now we're back to 62%. I talked about this the other day. I actually believe that the pattern that's out there is very bullish, because we're not seeing an excessive move, even though the markets have moved up fairly sharply over the last couple of weeks. All we've seen is a gradual move into the short-term database around 62%, which is very healthy. Typically 68 to 72 are peak levels on a normal rotation in this database. There's 15,268 symbols that we're following here. So as I tell everybody, this isn't just a bunch of stocks above a 200-day moving average. These are stocks that have been identified having trending characteristics, or the probabilities for appreciation is way higher. So as I've been telling you folks all along, I'm still looking at a July move higher into July. Not that we won't flatten out here maybe for the next few weeks and chop around, but there's still going to be some positive rotation going on here in the markets, and we're going to likely see consolidation and then some continuation. So let's go ahead. We're going to go through the S&P, and then we'll go through the NASDAQ. We'll see what the time is right now. I'm 11 minutes in, so I want to keep it pretty tight tonight. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Now, there's a couple things. I brought up a weekly chart here on the E-minis, and this includes the rollover on the near contract. So this is ES1 on TradingView, and this helps me to be able to see the algos and everything, the forward-looking part of the analysis that I present every night. So what we're seeing here is there's still a positive uptick this week on an intermediate basis. And then what we're seeing is the momentum is going to bleed off, but ultimately the number that you're going to watch for the buy the dip level is going to be at this 10-week moving average. And right now that's at 5,027. And that is that's the value for this week. It is going up right now at about 40 handles per week, so that'll be mid 50s, 5,060 or so. And if you recall, that number, that 5,060, is where we bounced off of a couple of times. I go back to last week. You'll see the low last week was 50.63. The previous week 50.60. This has been the last couple of weeks. This has been a big bounce area where you can trade off of. Let's look at the market grid. Then we're going to move right on to the NASDAQ here. On the market grid this week, just real quick, a review of last week. 52.73 was the upside for last week. 52.57 was the high. So we got right into the R2 level, and from that standpoint, and that rollover had a lot of effect here on things going on. So yeah, so just again, FF, just so you know, every night 7 p.m. Eastern time going forward. This was supposed to be pre-recorded. I had some issues, so I just came up live. Next Sunday night will be a pre-recorded video. So let's, but this looks like a range this week. S1 is 51.57, S2 is 51.17. This is the June contract. So we're seeing probably holding around 51.20 or so, something like that. And I will come and and I love the guys. Timothy, welcome. Crash is coming. I love you guys. There's no crash coming. Okay, there might be some consolidation, but crash. The amount of things that would have to happen to have a crash. I know there's this March 11th, March 15th, this event that's been promoted for about 40 years. It still hasn't happened. But anyway, the bottom line for this, we still have upward slope. We are starting to see momentum will start to bleed off. So toward the, as we go through the next couple of weeks, we're likely to see some of these support levels tested. So I'm going to stay on the weekly only. Let's go to NASDAQ, and I'm hoping to be done here. Same thing, NASDAQ had a really neutral week. If you look at the bar that came out last week, was actually this big rotation bar, a broad kind of pattern where we're seeing the market grid expand out a little bit. We printed in the range. This also had a rollover in it with some things. And what we're seeing here is still an upward slope. Even if I look, I've showed you folks, those of you have the indicators, that we'll go down here, let me see here, down to all the way in the 1st of April, we still have a positive PPM slope. Even though they're declining, they still have upward characteristics. Those of you who've been around for a while, you know what that means. But it just tells us that we're likely to test that 10-period moving average here on NASDAQ, which is right now 18,834. That looks like probably the best place to go. All right, we are 16 minutes in. I'm going to do one last thing. Okay, let's go ahead and let's just do, we're going to do a quick Bitcoin. All right, so we're going to do Bitcoin, then we're going to call it. So just know, get to Substack. I'm going to go through all these details later tonight, so you'll have that on your desktop, and I'll go through all of the expectations for the week in detail. So we look here at Bitcoin, just a completely vertical move. And I know a lot of folks are going, this is all about the halving that's coming up, I think, in April. I don't know the exact date, but regardless of what it's about, it's been a heck of a run. And the Fibonacci targets that we've been talking about have been incredibly accurate. We're looking right now at the bear with me one second. I think every noisy vehicle to come in front of my office has come here tonight. So let's, so if we look at market grid for this week, we're looking at R2 73,343, S1 66,945. But we did get RTX sell signal. We printed all the way up to RTX. This is weekly chart we're looking at. And now we're still seeing that expansion here. And it looks like positive momentum on PPM1. And I've been talking about this into April. We're starting to see a little bit of a fade. But if you look at these numbers over in the far right where my cursor is, we're talking PPM1 4.99. This is a huge parabolic curve. So most likely, if we see anything, is a consolidation up in this range going sideways into this rising moving average. So it's going to take multiple weeks before we get in there. All right, folks, I'm going to be done here. It's about 19 minutes in. Sorry for the short video. I wanted to get something out. Like I said, normally the plan is on Sunday we're going to have a produced video that we'll release. We'll do a premiere next Sunday. It was planned that way today, but it just didn't work out that way because of some trying to upgrade the equipment. I've been having a lot of trouble with mics in this environment, so I finally got a new mixer, which has been a big deal. So, but yeah, it looks like a lot of these markets are probably going to come into some kind of consolidation. Like I said, I'll cover it on Substack. So once again, kendallreport.com/newsletter. you'll get I have something called the Kendall Report opinion, and then I go through kind of a review of last week, and then we'll put all of the economic events that are coming out this week, because we have CPI coming out this week. We've got a number of big events, so I will cover that, and I believe that comes out on Tuesday, CPI, and Thursday is PPI, and so that's starting, at least from what we've seen, not to be as impactful as we've seen it before. So anyway, folks, thanks for coming in tonight. Apologize I didn't get this video done. Next Sunday night will be different. So review the schedule one more time. Tomorrow, Macro Monday. So I'll be on at 7 p.m. every day except for Thursday going forward. That's for the time change. I need more space between the time the market closes and I can prepare, because that's the difference. But I can't come on at 3, which is 6. That's only a couple hours. There's some things I need to do before I can get there. So there'll be 7 o'clock every night. Tuesday is going to be individual stock reviews, going to be ETF hacking, portfolio management. That's what we'll be talking about. The day-to-day analysis, folks. The reason why I've been working for months to reset up this channel and how to communicate that short-term analysis is going to be on the newsletter. It's about a 10-minute read instead of an hour to dig through all this stuff. And then Wednesday, we'll come back. We'll do another macro update, whatever's going in the markets at that time. Thursday is an off day. Then Friday, live stream on Friday. So there'll be basically 5 videos per week as we go through it. So I'm pretty excited about this. We've got some other things that we're planning to bring out, working on new software, a lot of really exciting stuff, folks. And I'm looking forward to serving this community, and it's nice to be back. This is week number 2. So if we have another week, pick up another 5,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button, all those good things. So it looks like YouTube likes us again. All right, folks, have a great day. Good luck trading. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m.